Welcome, to another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. I'm your host, Crispin Valentin. Make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. Why? You have nothing to lose and so much to gain, like this amazing story by a sports journalist, Edwin Prieto Linares. He has an amazing journey from Venezuela to covering the Copa América, and now to the episode. Hola, Edwin, ¿cómo estás?
Hi, good.
How you doing today?
Pretty good.
I gotta switch my brain back because we're doing a little something different that we never done before.
Mm-hmm.
We just finished doing the Spanish one, and now we're gonna practice our English one because I feel my English is really good. I got here to the United States when I was 11 years old. I've been most of my life here, and whenever you get made fun of when you're small, it makes you want to hurry up and practice English so you get it. So you don't have to worry about that. You know?
Yeah, of course.
So thank you, Edwin, for being here. I appreciate your time. You're super talented. We're going to get into all that and everything that you do. And not only that, but English is not your strong suit. However, anytime you get an opportunity to make it better, you take an opportunity, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I feel very thankful for being here today because it's an opportunity to work on my English because I seen it as an important to being a better professional. So if you can be bilingual, I mean, that's a blast because some people don't know how blessed you could be because you know 2 languages or 3 languages. I mean, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Do you only know 2 languages, or you know another one that we don't know about?
I know 2 languages. I understand Portuguese, but I cannot speak fluently. But I can understand what you're saying and everything. And okay, that's fine. I can, like, reading, it's fine. Listening, it's fine. But speaking is like, I cannot. But I can understand you very well in Portuguese or Italian too.
What about Colombian? Because, it's a little bit different Spanish, but...
Oh, well, yeah. Colombian is very different, but I like it. They're very good.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and start with a segment that I like to call Preguntas al Chile. You know about Preguntas al Chile. You already know what kind of questions we're going to have. We're going to have some very interesting ones. Why? Because we're going to include some Venezuelan dishes with that he's originally from. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Tacos or tortas?
Tacos al pastor.
Al pastor, your favorite one?
Yes.
Awesome. Corn tortilla or flour tortilla?
Well, on al pastor, I like corn.
Okay.
But most of the flour. Yeah.
Flour. Burritos, flour.
Yes.
I think they want to make them.
Burritos, flour. I don't think they make it on corn.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I'm over here just thinking about it. Right? Gorditas or pupusas?
Well, I like both, but recently I've been eating more pupusas. So pupusas, yeah.
Why have you been eating more pupusas lately?
Because I've been working with a Salvadorian girl who make really good pupusas.
Yeah, if you can hook me up and tell her I'm looking for black bean only pupusas, please, okay. I will buy a dozen or more.
I'll let you know.
Please,
okay, I'll let you know.
Okay, this one's going to be interesting. Frescolina or Malta Polar?
Well, I mean, I love Frescolita, but Malta Polar is winning all the time.
Tell me what these are.
Well, Frescolita is like a big red. Basically, it's a soda, red soda. And Malta Polar is like a root beer.
Root beer.
But more sweet.
Non-alcoholic.
Non-alcoholic, yes.
Awesome. I like it. Horchata, Jamaica, or Tamarindo Agua. Which one's favorite to you?
Horchata. Wonderful.
Do you love spicy food, salsa verde or salsa roja?
I like spicy. I'm not that big spicy guy, but I like it. Salsa verde, all the time.
Did you learn how to love spicy food here in the U.S. or was it from Venezuela?
It was in Venezuela because my mom is from a place where you eat some spicy food. And it was like, all right, I can handle some spicy. But when I got here, it was like, oh my God, this is another level, okay? But I wondered too, okay, this is fine. And then when I tried salsa verde the first time, it was like, hell yeah, I like that.
Do you ever find yourself as you're eating missing some spiciness at all whatsoever?
Sometimes, yes. There are some dishes who I think, okay, maybe some spicy salsa here will be better.
That's cool. Yeah, that's me all day, every day. Okay. Pabellón criollo or asado negro?
There's 2 different dishes, Venezuelan dishes. One, asado negro, especially some people eat it on Christmas in Venezuela. Pabellón criollo is more like a daily traditional plate. But honestly, I choose asado negro because it's not that usual than pabellón. So
asado negro, is there a particular meat that you use for that? Is there a certain beef?
It's a particular meat you use. It's a beef, but it takes a long to cook it. I mean, some people take around 12 to 24 hours on the oven to make it cook very well, because it's so wonderful to eat. It's like a barbecue. Like, you take a lot of time to cook it, and it has to be so slow, so very crispy. Like, the flavor is very nice.
So I hear a lot of people smoke meat, and that takes longer. Do they cook it with smoke, or just slow fire, real slow fire?
And in this case, on asado negro, you put it on the oven, but very slow, because that makes the difference.
Okay. And what about pabellón criollo? What is that particular meat?
Pabellón criollo is more easy because it's white rice, black beans, shredded beef, and some tajadas, who is fried plantains. So it's more easier to make than asado negro. So.
Okay, yeah. I see why they only make it once a year.
Yeah, of course.
A whole lot more work.
Or some special moments like a birthday or something.
Weddings and stuff like that?
Some people use it at a wedding. Yeah, some people could use it at a wedding.
Okay, now menudo or pozole.
Pozole. I love pozole.
Did you get introduced to pozole here in the States?
Yes, correct. I love it.
Do you remember the first time you tried it?
Yeah, I was hungover. It was
Definitely
like,
goes.
Okay, this is the best.
That's the best for hungover. Okay. Tequeños or empanadas. And what's the difference?
The difference is empanadas is tequeños and empanadas make it very similar, but the difference is tequeños is like a mozzarella stick, but the different version. No, it's like a sister or brother, whatever you can call it, as a tequeño. And empanada is a very different, because inside could be different versions, like empanada de pollo, empanada de carne, empanada de queso, whatever. But tequeños is mostly cheese.
Okay. What is your favorite empanada?
Empanada de pabellón.
Okay. Empanada de pabellón.
You combine the main dish inside an empanada.
Alrighty. Now, churros or flan?
Churros.
Para bailar, to dance, cumbia, salsa, merengue, bachata dancing?
Everything.
Let's go. All of them at the same time. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm going to try to challenge you this time, see if you can do it, because you really want to work on your Spanish, all right?
My English. Let's go.
I'm sorry, your English. Good, because I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah.
You like to narrate games. You're really good at it. I've seen videos of you just like 100 miles an hour and all the names of other jerseys, right? So recall the time when you saw a goal that you were like, oh my goodness, this is awesome, and try to narrate it in English.
Wow.
And set up how it was, and then deliver it in English as best as possible.
Well, yeah, calling a game in English is way different, because in Spanish, some people love to see sports in Spanish because you take more words per minute. On English, it's less words per minute. And I learned that with a comedian who he says he can do a 10-minute show on English, but in Spanish, the same show could be 15 to 20 minutes.
Wow.
Because you speak very more on it. So the same thing happened on calling a game, you name it, soccer, football, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's more slower. On the Spanish version of this interview, some people can see that part that was speaking like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Like a machine gun. But in English, it's not like that. Meanwhile, in Spanish is, allá va, viene la pelota, like very fast.
Yes.
On English is, there is a player coming to, looking forward, coming up, and a goal. It's like step by step. Very, very, very different. But it's all right, because you can practice on it and let them know, okay, this is the difference between one and another.
Okay.
So it's definitely that.
Who's your favorite narrator?
On Spanish, about soccer, the name is Luis Omar Tapia. He's a Chilean, very legend who does it on English too.
Oh, wow.
He's a very well known to do it on Spanish, but since he's living here at the United States from around 20 to 30 years, he's like, okay, I have to do it on English now. And he did the last Copa América on English. So it was like, whoa, it's a very, very nice guy. That's about soccer. And another sports, I got Ernesto Jerez. He's a Dominican baseball announcer. He's the best on Spanish calling a game of baseball. He's the best of the best. On English, there's a few who I like. For example, Joe Buck is a really good announcer. Sometimes I don't like it at all, but he's a very good announcer on baseball and on football. I mean, he's a very, very talented announcer. And there's another one of the Yankees. I don't remember. Michael Kay, the announcer of the Yankees on English on TV. He's wonderful. He's one of the best on English calling a baseball game. He's wonderful.
Awesome. Is there a conspiracy theory that you heard one time? When you heard, you said, that has to be true. Oh, there's no way that's not true. Well, anything comes to mind?
9/11.
9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people think it was made it by the U.S.
Did you see any particular videos that were like, oh, that's very questionable?
Some people think that. Some people not, but there's a videos who I enjoy to watch. Let's see what the people think. And I see and was like, all right, they think different. I like it. I like the people who thinks different all the time.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it sometimes, but it's okay you think different. That's the point of life. Not everybody has to think the same always. No, you have to. You can. I mean, you can have it.
That would be zombies if we just all thinking the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you hear the word Latino, Latina, Latinx, is there anything that comes to mind immediately? What would that be?
For Latino is a person who speaks Spanish or not, but he has a heritage of Spanish people. Like you are born in the United States, but your family is from Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, whatever. So you're Latino.
Awesome. Okay, so this episode, we already did one in Spanish. So this one's going to be more focused on the language part, right? So how is it that you learn English? Were you studying whenever you were going? Because you have a degree, right?
Yeah.
What is your degree that you have in Venezuela?
My degree is on communications, but honestly, there was not a difference on the language on that. Because in Venezuela, I mean, that's very bad that they don't have a strong media platform to learn English. If you go to school or if you go to college, you're not bilingual. You can get a huge degree and you cannot learn any English at all. For example, I have an aunt who she has a master's degree, who is one of the biggest ones.
Right.
But she doesn't know any English at all.
Wow.
And you're supposed to, if you're a very master on something, you have to at least know English, right? But she doesn't. And it's not her fault. I mean, it's supposed to be the system who, if you are escalating positions and getting better and better on something, you have to be better and better on another language too. But there's not a possibility. So in my particular case, I mean, I learned English since I was a kid for music.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was your first interaction or your first experience with English at all? Do you remember what it was?
Listening music. Limp Bizkit, Eminem, Papa Roach.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I always saying that Fred Durst and Eminem were my first English teachers.
Really?
Because I was hearing a lot of those music. Eminem, Papa Roach, Limp Bizkit, Blink-182, The Offspring. I mean, I was listening a lot since I was a kid because of my older brother. He was into that music.
When you're listening to those things, which maybe doesn't make sense, does it start making sense at all? Every so often, you kind of start recognizing like, oh, he's saying this, or he's saying that, or he means this.
Way years later. At that moment, it was like, oh, I like this. I like how it sounds. I like how he raps. I like how it's really good. But later on, like way later on, when I was like, okay, I'm trying to learn how it's English, I was like, oh my God, he was saying that. It was like, wow. It was like I discovered a whole new world because of that. But it was good to have that position because it was about music and also movies. I always rather seen a movie on English with subtitles in Spanish. And I mean, since I was a kid, that happened since I was a kid. I always rather English and subtitles on Spanish. But cartoons on Spanish. Great. Cartoons on Spanish, perfect. But a movie all the time in English because I rather hear like the real actor speaking and having their performance, and I just read.
Who introduced your brother to Eminem, Limp Bizkit, and all
I don't know.
He just know that he brought the music and you were hearing it.
He brought the music and I hear it because he was the target at that moment because I'm talking about 1999, the year 2000, 2001. It was mainstream. It was MTV. It was big at that moment. So you could see at TV those really great artists. So I like it at that moment. And then that makes me, trying to learn more about the language and about the music and okay, that makes me see movies or series or whatever on English too. I always rather English and subtitles on Spanish. And the video games too. Because at that moment, you didn't have the video games translated. So you have to figure it out how to play Spider-Man, for example, on English.
Yeah.
Because you have to read what is the mission on that moment. What is you have to do on that moment. So it was like, okay, he's saying this and maybe it's that. Okay, perfect. Or baseball, for example. The announcer, now batting, number 29, Barry Bonds. And I was like, okay, now batting means al bate. Okay, so I was like connecting dots, one with another. Okay, this probably means this. This probably means this. Yeah. And then I was like wondering and trying to, okay, I want to learn more. I want to learn more. And then I started reading in English, having my phone in English, everything in English, just for trying to improve my English by my own.
Yeah.
Just by my own.
So one thing is, when I was learning English, at least I feel like I realized that I knew English was when I started hearing myself thinking in English.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember yourself whenever you kind of sort of realized, I kind of know English a little bit. I can kind of get carried conversation.
The first time was when I was working on a media platform on Spanish, and I was covering the local basketball league on Venezuela. So there were some players who were from Nigeria, from the United States, so they didn't speak in Spanish at all. So there was a couple journalists who speaks English, and they make the questions, and that's it. So I remember because everybody knows them already. I was like the new guy at that year. So the first guy makes the question, the other guy makes the question, and all of a sudden I was like, I'm gonna do a question. What happened? And when I raised my hand, everybody was like, what happened with this guy? Nobody knows English. This guy speaks English. I was like 17 at that moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, hi, did you feel more comfortable? And I was doing the question or something. And everybody was like, what the hell is this guy doing? And then everybody's like, I didn't know you speak English. I was like, me neither. I just tried.
You just tried it out.
I just tried it out. And I knew he understands me because he answered what I wanted. So I was like, okay, if I say something he understands and he answered me what I wanted, it's because I can have a little conversation with somebody. Okay, that's perfect. So next time I'm going to try to do an interview, a full interview with him. And I tried, but with another player. And when I did that, a friend of mine said, bro, but you speak English. I said, I think I can. I don't know fluently, but he understood what I said. And we were chatting for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's good.
That's a long time.
A lot.
Yeah.
So, and at that moment, I remember I have a cousin who was on Boston,
right,
learning English. He was studying English for 6 months in Boston. And I remember I sent him the recording because it was an audio recording.
Yeah.
And I sent it to him and he was like, bro, that's you? And I was like, yeah. Bro, you're kidding. I was like, yeah, bro, that's me. And he was like, bro, but you listen good. I mean, you're good at it. I mean, you just need to. And he gave me a couple, tips. And I was like, okay, I can do it.
Yeah,
I can do it. And then was like, okay, let's go. And I take more confidence. And I remember when I got here to the United States, the first thing I thought, okay, I can get a work when I can't speak English because, okay, I can do it.
Yeah. One thing about you that I've been picking up is that a lot of the times when people give you tips, you really run with it and hear them and then execute until you get it right, and it gives you confidence. Do you feel like that time that you had the courage to be able to ask that question, even though if you didn't know you were going to be able to deliver, gave you the confidence to just keep trying? Otherwise, maybe it would have taken you longer to kind of realize you might have known a little bit more English than you thought? Yeah,
sometimes. I mean, sometimes it happens. I mean, for example, I started to work in a restaurant as a server, but I didn't know how to say straw, for example. And I remember the first time a young lady said, can I please get a straw? And I was like, straw? Yeah, give me 1 second. And it was straw, straw, straw. And I went to the bar because the only guy who speaks Spanish at that restaurant, he was the bartender. He was a Mexican guy. And I was like, Memo, what is a straw? And he was like, popote. And I was like, oh, okay. And I learned...
Do you say popote in Venezuela?
We didn't say popote.
What do
we
you say?
Pitillo.
Pitillo.
But I understood that popote means pitillo. So I was like translating from English, from Mexican to Venezuelan to understand it was a straw. So I was like, okay, I got it. But I mean, it was part of that. I mean, it was like to learn all the time how to say, I don't know, fork or straw or a plate or B or whatever. But it was part of it. I never felt bad because sometimes I said, hey, I'm sorry for my English. I'm still learning. They were like, oh, you're good. No worries, blah, blah, blah. But there were some rude people who rather being served by another because they didn't have the confidence or the delivery to speak fluently English.
How do you make you feel did you have any instances that happened?
Yeah.
And how did it make you feel whenever they did that?
I mean, I was like, okay, I understand I don't have enough for you make you feel comfortable about my service because my English is very limited. But, okay, if you feel that, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I understand I have some limits. I still have it, but I'm not afraid to make it worse or bad or whatever. I mean, if I'm not at the good position of it, okay, I understand. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Because some people are still learning Spanish and I understand that I have to be patient. But if some people don't understand they have to be patient, it's all right. It's up to you.
It's crazy to think the way that you describe the process that has to go in your mind to be able to get a word out or understand something.
Yeah.
You hear the word, you go and tell this guy, he tells you another word. In your mind, you have to go to your archives, think about what that means in your language or Spanish, but the way that Venezuelans say it, and then understand what he meant.
Correct. Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
That's a lot, yeah.
I don't think people understand how much it has to go through.
It's a process, yeah. It's a process.
It's a whole process.
Yeah, it's a whole process.
Like, that's crazy.
In seconds.
Yes. Yeah. And then to think that you realize, even though you didn't know what a straw was, and you're like, okay, I don't know what a straw is. You went to the person who could probably lead you to what a straw meant.
Correct, yeah.
To get an answer and deliver the straw. So
Yep.
when you took the straw to the lady, how do you feel? How did it make you feel?
Oh, great. Because I knew that was a straw. Okay, I was like, okay, perfect. There you go.
Now you know what a straw is.
Now I know
that
what
day
it
you
is.
learned what a straw was.
Yeah, that's what I know.
Wow.
So, perfect. That would make it.
As far as, again, you graduated with a journalism degree. Now, how does that really help you with English at all whatsoever? Is there anything that you kind of sort of learn from what you already know to translate to English as far as doing any kind of work in English at all?
Yeah, I mean, on MLB, for example, I was working on a radio station doing a program once a week. There was very, very, very good to learn English because there was some news made it from local stations that were only on English. So I can deliver some news on Spanish because I know what they're saying. So that's very important. For example, there was a Venezuelan player, Pablo Sandoval, who were playing at that moment in Boston.
Right.
And a local radio station started a news about he was having an injury on his right knee. But there was no Spanish version of it. And I listened to the program because they uploaded to YouTube, and I listened to it and I tried to translate, and I was like, okay, he's having an injury in her right knee, blah, blah, blah. And I remember 4 days later started the Spanish version of the news. So if I waited for it, I go late. You know what I'm saying? But I got it first because I understood what they were saying. So that's the most important thing. Trying to know what they're saying and what that means. Okay. Because it's very different what they're saying and what it means. Because if you go to Google Translate, it lost completely the meaning. Because you
I like ChatGPT's conversion for Latin American or English way better.
But at this moment we have it. But I'm talking about more than 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
ChatGPT was not at the place. So you were trying to figure it out what it was, what it means. So at that moment was a very good learn English for trying to deliver some news who were important for the community at the moment that was made it originally only on English.
Do you feel you have an advantage over other people because sometimes the English news are coming out quicker, have more breaking news quicker than maybe the Spanish, and then you have an edge because you know you listen to it and you can deliver in Spanish and still be ahead of everybody else?
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah?
Sometimes, yes.
So do you remember any particular time that happened to you?
Well, that moment with the injury of Pablo Sandoval, it was a very big moment because I could deliver that news at that moment, and then later on, some people trying to, okay, this is real, and when they figured out there was, okay, this is real, and this guy said it, and it was like, okay, that's good. But it's blessed because you understand what they're saying, but if you can connect with them on Spanish, way better. Because, for example, in baseball, the most talented players are Latinos, and they speak Spanish. And they rather speak to somebody who speaks the same language to do in English. So it's a blast to have those couple of words. Like, it's the best.
Yeah. So you definitely went, because I seen you footage that you put in for, I believe it was the opening day. You were in the Rangers.
Correct, yes.
You were interviewing a lot of them. So you were right, though. They feel a lot more comfortable with you because they struggle with English, too.
Yeah,
it's not their main language either. So when they know somebody that speaks Spanish like you do, it's like, oh, man, let me talk to this gentleman. Right
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's way better.
That's way better. Okay. How does it feel that you are able to be the one guy that they trust you more, feel more connected than everybody else because your Spanish is so good?
It feels good. It feels very good. To some people, feel very bad, and I'm having that struggle right now because I think, I don't know who, but I think somebody who was inviting of it, they make a bad reputation on me that I was doing something wrong on it. But I mean, I feel all right that I was doing my job very nice, that was connecting with the players at the right moment, at the right place, and also respecting their time, because that's the most important thing. Understand that the players are working, because I'm not a fan. I'm a professional. So learning that and understanding that, that the player has to do some work, and on part of their work, they give you some free time to talk to you. So it's way better if he's Puerto Rican or Cuban, speak to him, hola, ¿cómo estás? Cuando tengas un tiempo hablamos. They feel better because they listen. Oh, he speaks my language. He understands me. He knows me. He respects me. And that's it. But I can do that with American players. But the point is, and it's the truth, Latino players generate more news than American players. So if I can talk to him directly on their language, I can get more breaking news.
Yeah, more exclusive too, and then more connection too. That connects with the audience too.
Correct, more connection. But some people don't understand that because I don't know what they think. But the most important thing for me is connect to them and let them understand that I'm here to them to work on it, and that's it. So,
as a professional, knowing that you're professional, knowing that you take it to heart, knowing that you work really hard, you came a long way. For somebody to want to start a rumor, how did it make you feel at that time, knowing that it wasn't even that? Your intention was not even that.
I mean, it felt very bad because, I mean, I was doing my job. I was doing what I was called to it. I mean, just interview players, do whatever I have to do without disrespect somebody. But if that person felt like I was, I don't know, doing something wrong, okay, just tell me.
Absolutely,
just tell me. If you need something from me, just tell me. I'm not gonna, hey, I don't know. No, I'm gonna help you. Yeah. Because we're partners. I mean, we're working. You're working for your company, working for my company, but we are at this stadium. We all need the same thing. Talk to the players.
How does it feel coming from a small, I don't know if it's a small town or not, Valencia. Is it a small town, big town?
Valencia is one of the big towns in Venezuela, one of the main towns in Venezuela. But I came from a smallest town inside of Valencia. The name is Los Guayos. It's a small neighborhood. But, I mean, it feels all right because you were closer to the capital, who's Caracas. So
Los Guayos?
Yes.
Okay, coming from Los Guayos, I don't know if you had a lot of opportunities, yet you were able to go to school, having a degree, coming to another country, maybe not able to, even though you have your degree, not able to use it. How does it feel to you be able to now talk to some of these MLB players or baseball players, professional players in general? How does it make you feel to you? Does it make you feel real? Does it make you feel like, man, I really earned this? Or does it make you feel like I still have work to do?
I earned it. But also, I still have to work on it. Absolutely. Because it's a dream come true to do that. Because on Los Guayos, I watch a lot of MLB on TV. So now, being at the stadium with the players, with some players that are watching TV right now, I'm with them, talking to them, interviewing them. It's like, okay, I earned it. because I was working on it, dreaming it all the time, but also getting ready because I did 5 seasons of winter baseball on Venezuela. So I was working on how to approach to the players, how to understand the language of the players,
Right.
how they do everything. So I know I earn it, but also I still have to work on it because
Right.
it's my first season as covering MLB directly on the stadium. So I know there's some things that I don't know, but also there's a lot of other things that I know. So
What about-
definitely I earn it, but also I still have to work on it because I'm not the best guy ever, but I know I can do my best.
What about Copa Oro and professional soccer players, knowing you had such a love from as an early age for soccer?
Yeah, I mean, for soccer is a very, very nice. I mean, I love soccer since I was a kid, and also baseball because my family loves baseball. I mean, my family and the place where my dad grew up is all the time baseball. If you go to reunion family, you do some food, some empanadas or whatever, and you're watching baseball.
Wow.
What is the baseball game tonight? Okay, they're playing the Yankees. They're playing Boston. Okay, let's see the game and eat or whatever. So for me, sports like baseball, like soccer, means family time. It means these important moments. So passing from that to work professional in the place where people wanted to pay for being there, and I have the blessing of being there because of my job, that's the best. So I feel very grateful and thankful for it.
You had a long journey from Venezuela to get here to eventually want to continue to, again, with a degree, but not able to use it to, do different kind of jobs from lift to whatever you want to call it, construction, you name it, you probably did it, to be able to still want to do media, did your own podcast. How did it feel to do your own podcast? Because I know that you wanted to show that you still have something that you can showcase to people.
Correct.
Like, look, I can still do this. I'll do this. I just haven't done it over
Correct,
here
yes.
like the way I used to do it.
Correct.
Because in Venezuela, you did radio, TV, you name it, you probably did it. So right here is a different story.
It's absolutely a different story because it doesn't matter what you did outside. It matters what you do here. So it definitely do this interview with you, the work that I do on Movida Hispana, it what matters right now, because for a radio station, for a local radio station or local channel, doesn't matter if you have 10 years of experience in your country. What you do here, you speak English, you know how the news work here, you know how the people talk here, you know how you can connect with the people here. No? Okay, next. That's it.
I like the way you put it in one of the interviews you were talking about. Like, you wanted experience. Like, how am I going to get experience? It's like people that get a degree. Like, how am I going to get experience? You don't give me a chance to do it. Like, I was in school this whole entire time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's very crazy because, okay, you need experience for working this. But how you gain the experience if you never get the opportunity? So it's like, come on, how can I manage to do that? And the only way that I did is, okay, at the same time that I'm starting on the college, I'm doing this, I'm doing radio, I'm doing TV, whatever, because my point was, when I finally get my degree, okay, here's my degree, here's my experience. What's next?
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
But I came here and doesn't matter both. And I was like, okay, what I have to do now? Okay, I'm doing a podcast, I'm doing this. Some people are going to connect me because some people understand that context is one of the most important things on media platforms. Because if they don't know you, you could be the best professional ever. But if nobody knows it, doesn't matter.
And even though you were here working on the podcast, you never stopped was networking, because you kind of realized that was going to get you places, right? Connecting with people and different things. In fact, one of the connections that you made, even not working at the same time, a station over there in Venezuela led you to what you're doing right now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a way connecting dots from one place to another. We met in Venezuela. I was here in Dallas. He was on Bogota at that moment.
What was the gentleman's name that you know?
Carlos Bermudez.
Okay.
Yeah, is the name. I mean, we met in Venezuela, but years later, I moved to Dallas. He moved to Colombia, and we were talking from WhatsApp from a client who recommends him to connect to me here. So it was like boom, 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 boom. So it was a complete mess.
Wow.
But make it sense because he makes his best to try to, okay, you can connect with this guy because this guy can do what you guys need. So it was like, I know this person who can do this, and he's doing it for free. So if you offer him an opportunity, he's going to take it. It doesn't matter because he's really needing this. And you guys are really needing somebody. So both things connect. And that's why Movida Hispana is right now.
So you're in Movida Hispana USA. Can you please explain to people that don't understand? You're starting to work a little bit more English media and work that, right? Can you kind of explain what it is and what are you doing with the English side?
Yeah, Movida Hispana is a Spanish platform who's working on getting to Hispanic people on Texas and also outside of Texas some news about sports, about entertainment, about connections, about networking events, about different kind of platforms here on Dallas, on Houston, and Austin, and San Antonio for delivering the message to you. But on the time, we understood that, okay, there's some Latinos who speaks very fluent English, and they rather do interviews in English, and they rather have some content on English. They're working on their Spanish, but they rather do English all the time. Right. So it's like, okay, we have to get a platform, to get a podcast, a show, whatever, who can deliver some information in English. And we have it right now. The name is Pensamiento Crítico when they're in Spanish, but when they're in English, it's critical thinking.
Critical thinking.
That's it. And they're speaking about whatever, marketing or something, but they're doing on English. So the important thing is, okay, get the news, get the information about, and let the people know what is going on. So that's the most important thing. If you can consume us in Spanish because you're going to get your Spanish better, okay. You have something on English too because your main language is English.
Right.
So you cannot miss anything because you got everything with us.
Awesome. And then now you're the person that does the sports and focus on the sports and the sporting side. Are you the only individual with the sporting side or mostly the one that bigger talent as far as the sports on Movida Hispana?
Yeah, right now there's only me doing sports on Movida Hispana, but we're focusing on get more people on sports working on the media platform. So definitely we want to get more people involved on the sports plays on Movida for grow the content and make it more better.
Awesome. Speaking of sports, there's something very particular that you covered that you had a dream about. So one of the only reasons why you made it to the U.S. is because you wanted to cover Copa América.
Yes.
Unfortunately, at that time, what year was that?
2019.
2000. I'm like speaking English.
2019.
Right now. 2019. You get here with the wanting to work to get money so you can go and cover in Brazil.
Yes.
The Copa América. Unfortunately, that falls through the station you're working. They were not able to close the deal to broadcast. Now you're here, still continue working, but with all these things that finally connected together, now you get an opportunity to cover Copa América.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, it was great because I came here with the dream to make some money, as you said, go to Brazil and make the Copa América over there. That was not possible, so I stayed here. And then I realized, okay, there's going to be a Copa América here at the United States. I got to be ready. And what happened is I started to work on Movida Hispana. I started to trying to get into the media of the Copa América for trying to get the credentials to go to the place. I mean, it was working hard to trying to make connections, to talk to some people, to try to make it there. And it was a long work, but we finally made it, and it was a complete blast to do it because we made great connections and still is one of the biggest events that Movida Hispana made at the moment.
But almost didn't happen. And there was a reason why it happened, and it was because of why?
It was because of some sponsors, honestly, because we didn't make enough sponsors to make it profitable. But also, it was about some struggles that the platform of Copa América has to give me the credentials very right. Because there's two places. The first place is get your credential. Okay, you get your credential. Now you send a request to get the access to the game. And I make all the requests, but from all of the sudden, all of the requests were erased.
Oh, wow.
Like I never did that. And it was a big risk that I was unable to get into the stadium to make the work happen. So Movida Hispana said, okay, we're going to pay you hotels. We're going to pay you flights to make it to California. But you don't know if you're going to make it to the stadium because you don't have the credential on it. You have the big credential, but you don't have the credential that you need. There's a little one to get to the game, to get to the press box, to get to you need to do for make the work. So you can be there, but outside. So, and I was like, let's go. Let's go. I know I can do it because I move everything for trying to get in. So I'd say, okay, I understand what you're saying. It's a risk. It's about money, about whatever, but I need you guys to trust me. Honestly, I need you guys to trust me.
Why do you have faith that you can make it happen?
I mean, I just believe that I was able to make it because I was very confident that if something happens, I can connect to the person who is going to make me be there. So I was trying to, okay, I need to get the real confidence to, like I'm talking to you right now, connecting, trying to connect to that person who's going to give me that access. So I work on it and I get it.
Wow.
Very fast.
Wow.
But I needed to be there because otherwise I will be frustrated in Dallas because I didn't flew to California to try to do that. And I wanted to try it. At least try it. If I was outside the stadium when the game was on, okay, would I try it? But I never want to be like, what if? What if I did that? What if? No, let's go.
What does that come for not wanting to live in the fear of what if instead of like, let me give it a go? Where does that come from for you?
I mean, that comes from, I don't know. It's like, I want to do this and I don't want to stay with the, what happened if, I mean, I just want to do it because you never know if the next day you're going to wake up. Like we talked before. I mean, all the time you have to do whatever it takes for get what you want. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to stay here and say, whatever. No, let's go. Let's go. What happens? What happens if you get it? What happens if that dream you have come true? You never know if you don't try it.
Yeah.
So let's go try it.
You definitely get a no for sure if you don't try it. That's a no guarantee.
Absolutely. That's a no-no.
Yeah. Now coming up on sports, we have the World Cup 2026.
Yes.
I know that even before you've been preparing already, as you were preparing already for the Copa América, so now you're getting ready. Is Movida Hispana going to be involved in covering as much as possible and working on everything, getting it done?
Absolutely.
And it's locally too, so it's here, so a little bit easier.
It's here. We're going to have a World Cup in Dallas. We're going to have World Cup in Houston. So definitely we're working since very past months from now on to get to the World Cup next year. So it's a lot of connect with people, try to get to the right person to get that credential to get into the World Cup because it's one of the massive events in the world. So definitely you have to be there and having on our backyard because it's right here in the city. It's like, come on, we have to be there.
It's very interesting because I seen you interview even the mayor of Arlington.
Yes.
And y'all talked about how much a big of opportunity it is.
Yeah.
And you did it in English too. You interviewed him in English.
Yeah. I did that. So, I mean, it's part of it. You have to get ready and go ahead. No fear. If you mess up, if you say something, if I said something that doesn't make sense, okay, but you try it. You make it. Let's go. No fear.
Did you have any dreams of covering the World Cup? I know you had dreams about covering Copa América, but as far as the actual World Cup,
yes.
Is it in your mind?
Of course, yeah. All the time, yes.
When did you feel like you started beginning to see maybe I will be able to cover the World Cup one day?
I started dreaming since I was a kid, but feeling that it's real now. Because before it was like, okay, I'm so far away for get the opportunity to be in a World Cup. But right now I feel more closer because people around me talk to me, hey, next year's World Cup, you have to be there. You have to be there. And that doesn't happen to me before. Before it was like, oh, you're going to watch the World Cup, right? And now it's not watch it. It's being there. So it's very different to people talk to you and say, you're going to watch the World Cup than saying, you have to be at the World Cup. So some people are already talking to me like, you have to be there. You're not going to miss it. You have to. And it's a responsibility that, okay, yeah, I have to be there because I have to deliver a message down there. So let's go.
When was the first time you realized somebody was telling you have to be there? I'm like, oh, shoot. Like, when? Do you remember when it happened?
Yeah, it was like, it was not that far. Like 6 months ago, there was a guy that was saying, "Hey, it's good to see you, bro. How was the Copa América and everything?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, it was good." And he was like, "You're the guy who was made it to the World Cup next year." It was like, "I'm gonna make it to the World Cup?" He's like, "Come on, bro. You was at the Copa América. You have to be at the World Cup if you were at the Copa América here in the United States. If the World Cup is here, you have to be there. What is the difference? You have to." And it's like, it's a big difference. Okay, it doesn't matter. You have to be there. I was like, fuck yeah.
Heck yeah. All right, we're running short on time. Thank you very much for, you did amazing in English, by the way.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Your Fred Durst,
Eminem. They did a great job.
Great teachers, by the way. Mom Spaghetti. That's all I need to say on that part. Okay, so before I let you go, tell me where can we find you, all your social media. You have any events coming up, anything you have going on? You also do MCing.
Yes.
Master Ceremony, English and Spanish as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a story very fun to wrap it up because I was doing English and Spanish MCing. But as my English is not the most better English, there were some customers who were complaining about my accent because they rather an MC who was speaking English with no accent. So I'm not gonna bull on it. I was very mad about it because I was like, okay, but I'm delivering my best. I'm not giving you 50% of me. I'm giving 100% of me. If it's not enough to you, understand, but I'm a professional on it. I'm not a professional on English, but I'm a professional on communications. So there's a big difference because you can get a better person with a better English. But I know with the better skills for communicate, I doubt about it. So I got really mad on it. And now on, some customers are getting like, okay, you know what? You're getting better. I listened to it. Okay, you're getting better. Your English is getting better. It's like you're improving on it. Just keep working. And I was like, okay, I'm going to keep working. And things like this, make it working and getting better.
Absolutely.
So my social media, Edwin Prieto L on Instagram, on X, on TikTok, Facebook, Edwin Prieto Linares. We're there just to spread the word about sports and some different things like music and whatever. But the point is to communicate and to connect with you guys all the time.
And also Movida Hispana everywhere as well, también.
Absolutely. Movida Hispana US on Instagram, on TikTok, Movida Hispana TV on YouTube, and the another account, Movida Deportiva US on Instagram and TikTok.
So let me tell you a funny story about MCing, because I MC too, bilingual, both English and Spanish. And one time I was translating for a preacher. So I'm translating. He's saying it in English, and I'm saying it in Spanish. Oh no, he's saying it in Spanish, and I'm translating it in English.
Okay.
So I'm just going, and I don't know what happened. I don't know what I was thinking, or maybe I went into thought. But he's speaking Spanish, and I'm repeating the same thing he's saying in Spanish.
Oh my God!
And the gentleman is like, "Well, I guess he's just gonna repeat what I'm saying." And I'm like, "Oh shoot!"
Yeah.
And I woke up. Luckily, it was like a Christian family, and they were not like crazy. Like, what are you doing? So it was very informal. It wasn't like super formal. But I was like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? I was repeating exactly what he was saying in Spanish.
And it's hard because you have to switch your brain.
Yeah.
And some people say, hey, when you speak English, you sound like a different person.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe because I learned English listening to another person's.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm impersonating somebody. But the point is, connecting. If you understand me, that's a point.
Yeah, the tonality in Spanish is a little more softer, more energetic, and a lot of times English sounds more deeper, more professional, you can say at times, comparison. So yeah, I can see why your white person voice compared to your regular corporate voice.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what is an important lesson that you learned doing journalism or just covering events that you would tell your younger self that will help somebody else out? What would that be?
You have to listen to the right people. And sometimes you're not going to listen to some people who wanted to make it look good to you, but it doesn't matter. You have to learn from the best and from the worst to know what is the best and what you don't want to do. So just listen, just be humble, because you are not the best guy in the world, but you're not the worst. So if some people tell you, hey, you're doing it great, thank you. But if some people say, hey, you're the worst, thank you. It doesn't matter. Stay at the same level. You're not the best guy in the world, and you're not the worst. Just be at the same level. That's it.
How do you stay grounded? Because, again, you do an amazing job in
Thank
Spanish. And I know you get it all the time that you're doing amazing. The way that you just, on our Spanish interview, you'll be able to see how well he delivered, like, goal.
Yeah.
Freaking amazing. How do you maintain yourself being humble, being grounded, and don't get your head too big, per se?
My mom, all the time, she always say you have to be grounded. Your feet on the ground.
Yeah.
All the time. She's saying, for most that you're flying or you're getting your dreams come true and whatever, and you're going into another level, stay grounded, stay humble, because you're a human being. Mm-hmm. Okay? You're a professional. You're talking to the best on the world, but it doesn't matter. You have to be a person, because there's some people who are professionals, but they're not human beings. The most important thing is being a human being. Understand that another people's feelings, another people understand what you're saying. So that's the most important thing, connect. So you always have to be grounded. Your feet on the ground.
Awesome.
You can fly, but on the ground.
On the ground. Usually when I wake up, sometimes throughout my day or throughout the week, I say something along the lines, I'm not immortal, I am mortal, and I will die one day. Not to scare me, terrify me, or anything like that, bring any bad juju. But it's a reality in life, right? We're not here forever. As much as we want to be here forever, unfortunately, that's not how it happens. Mm-hmm. With that, I wish you a long, prosperous life.
Thank you.
After everything's said and done, what do you want people to feel and think about your life?
That I was very passionate for what I did. That was a passionate guy who tried to get better, who never stays with a no, a guy who tried their best and never stays at a comfort zone. Because this podcast, this interview is being out of my comfort zone, because English is not my main language, but I have to try to deliver and try to speak to you and speak to the camera and try to make my best all the time. So what I want people to remember is I always try to be better all the time.
Awesome. And great job, English.
Thank you.
I think this is the first time in history we knocked out 2 interviews. Usually it takes a couple of months to bring you back to do the other one, but you had the idea. So I fought it a little bit, but I'm like, let's go ahead and try it. Let's give it a go. See how it goes. Because we want to focus on, like, English, I feel is a little bit stronger on my side. Mm-hmm. Spanish, I'm definitely going to continue to get better at it, right? Even though it's my native tongue, right? But I've been here for like too many years.
Yeah, so it's understandable, because your native language is Spanish, but for the most of the time of your life, you're being in the United States.
Yeah.
So you've been speaking most English than Spanish on your life, even that Spanish is your main language.
Yeah.
But, I mean, still, you're working on it. And that happened to me. Most of my life, I'm being speaking Spanish. From now on, I'm being speaking English, trying to get better. So that makes you to understand, okay, I have to work on it. I have to be better on it. And I have to try to deliver the message on this language. So that's the most important thing. Work on it, trying to get better on it. And I understand your struggle trying to get better your Spanish, because my struggle is trying to get better my English.
Right.
So that's why I connect and I recommend you, hey, let's do this. Let's talk about our struggles, because you are a professional, but you do, because you're a great podcaster. But also you're a human being who are trying to get better on something like a language. Like a people who doesn't know how to do a podcast still has to struggle on it. And the same thing happened to me, and that's the connection of it. So the people can see the Spanish version and 2 months later upload the English version. Doesn't matter. The important thing is, if you get here to the United States, learn the language. Yeah. Because it doesn't matter. There's a lot of people who speak Spanish here at the country.
Yeah.
That's great. But if you can speak English, that will be way better, because there's more doors that's going to open for you. Yeah. Just if you understand. Just understand English, because some people just either understand. So if you understand, okay, you cannot talk very fluently like me. I'm not a fluent guy on English. But if you understand at least, okay, there's something for you. Just go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the main point is to communicate, right? And kind of get our message across and be able to communicate some way, somehow to make it happen. So, Edwin, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Again, I ran into you, as I mentioned, at an event. You were emceeing, then I ran into you at another event, and you were interviewing. Then I ran into with Diego. I'm like, this guy just keeps popping up. I'm like, what the heck's going on?
Let's go and talk to this guy.
And then, of course, I took Diego's class, Capacitación 23. I met again. I'm like, let's go ahead and talk. And I know you were great from that because of the way he expressed himself. I saw your interview with him and other things that I've seen. I'm like, yeah, he's really good at what he does.
Thanks
and without a shadow of a doubt, Edwin Prieto Linares, you are a global line factor. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Crispin. Thanks a lot to the people who's watching this interview right now. Thanks a lot. Just struggle with your English. It's fine. It's understandable, but let's go. Keep working on it. I'm working on it. Just keep working.
This was another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Remember to subscribe. Why? Because you have tons to gain and nothing to lose. These amazing stories we're sharing with you. And remember, we are just like you. We are people. We are humans. We are the spice in this melting pot that it is the world. Till next time.